Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. Come on in. The first thing I'm going to be talking about is how an attorney evaluates a possible and potential medical malpractice case here in the state of New York. The first thing that has to happen is that you have to come in and we have to sit down and find out exactly what went on. The most important question that I want to know is, what is it that you think was done wrong? And what injury did you suffer as a result of that? And contained within that are three different elements that I need to know about. And the first is, what was done wrong? The wrongdoing, what we call departures from good and accepted medical practice. What was it that caused your injury? That's known as causation. And the third is, what injuries do you have? The first thing that we do is we get copies of your records. And I have to get permission slips from you. And those are known as authorizations. And once I have your permission slip, I take a cover letter and I send that permission slip to the doctor's office. And it says, "Dear doctor, I represent Mr. Jones and I want to get copies of his records. Please provide me with a copy of the records, and if there are copying costs, let me know what they are. And so then we can provide you a check for those costs." And so once we send the record requests out, we then wait for a response from the doctor's office. And once they give us a response and tell us how much the copying costs are, we can then give them a check and then wait for them to be copied and sent to us. And this process can take anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks or sometimes even longer. I have to go through and read every single page that I receive. And why do I do that? Number one, I get to familiarize myself with exactly what the doctor's records show and what's in there. What complaints you made, what the doctor's thinking was, what notes he or she made as a result of the care rendered, and what treatment they were giving to you. And it's important for me to do that because I get a better understanding of exactly what went on, not just from your viewpoint, but also from the doctor's viewpoint, assuming, of course, I can read the doctor's handwriting. And this way I can also talk to the doctor, the expert, intelligently about what is contained within those records. So we can have an educated conversation about what went on and what didn't go on. The next step that I have to do is I have to contact a medical expert in the specialty where I believe there was wrongdoing and send all the records that I just received, send it to him or her for evaluation. And why do we have to do that? The law in New York requires that before we are permitted to even start a lawsuit in New York for medical malpractice, we are required to have a medical expert review all the records and confirm that we have a valid basis to proceed forward. So that is a requirement. We must get expert confirmation that, number one, there was wrongdoing, number two, the wrongdoing caused injury, and number three, that the injury is significant and or permanent. That's the key process of how an attorney evaluates whether or not you have a valid basis for a case.